This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everybody. Am I audible to you? Can anyone please respond and say reply to me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. How are you guys? At home quarantine and long time. Do you miss lecture classes in the gallery? I think you will miss.
Yes, ma'am.
My topic is very long duration of holidays, no? So much of holidays. Okay. Rectal prolapse. Rectum and prolapse. The word meaning prolapse means it is not in its original position and it is descend downwards. Anywhere in the body, prolapse is not in its original anatomic location, but it has come downwards or prolapse. That is rectal prolapse. Normally, rectum. What is the anatomy of the rectum? Can anyone please say anatomy of rectum? How much? What is the length of the rectum? Where it is located? Whether any peritoneal coverings are there or not? What is the difference between the rectum and rest of the large bowel? You are finally no, and by now you have to start. I think your 9th sem. When will be your final exams? Around January. January or February. Just reminding you. Final exams. February or March, I think you will be, and you will become houses by April, like that. March your final. Okay. By the time you have to start your revisions and everything. Just reminding you that your exams will be there. There won't be any postpone. I think there won't be any postpone of your exams. Because you are the emerging doctors, new doctors, and they are very deficit of doctors, they won't postpone our medical exams. Okay, maximum they will conduct. So you have to start your revision and you have to start your preparation and everything. So rectum is of 10 to 15 centimeters. It is a large bowel part. It is different from the rest of the large bowel because it don't have tinea coli. It don't have appendices epiploicae, and it is present in the, upper 1/3 is covered by the peritoneum. Okay, the peritoneal coverings, if the large bowel or anything, or anywhere in the body, in the peritoneal cavity or the abdomen, they form the ligaments, okay, attachments. But here, it is in the pelvic organ, and upper 1/3 is covered by the peritoneum. It is partly retroperitoneum and partly intraperitoneum and extraperitoneum. Okay, it pierces the diaphragm. What is the diaphragm here? It is a pelvic diaphragm. Okay, it formed by the levator ani muscles. Levator ani, and it pierces the levator ani, and last 4 centimeters is the anal canal. Okay, prolapse means rectal prolapse means this rectum lined by mucosa, submucosa, muscle layer, circular and outer longitudinal muscle layer will be present, and there won't be any. It is partly serosa is present, partly serosa is absent. So we cannot say it is completely lack of serosa or anything. These layers, okay, mucosa, submucosa, and muscle layer. Muscle layer includes both circular and longitudinal muscles. Won't be present in this normal anatomical pelvic cavity or below the pelvic diaphragm. It will prolapse and comes outwards. Okay, that is rectal prolapse. Okay, again it is of depending upon complete prolapse, incomplete prolapse. Complete prolapse means complete all layers, that is mucosa, submucosa, muscle layer is prolapsed and coming out of this anal region or anal opening. Okay, partial prolapse means mucosa and submucosa only will be prolapsed. Okay. That is the anatomy. It passes through the pelvic diaphragm. Okay, pelvic diaphragm is nothing but the levator muscles, pubococcygeus, puborectalis. All these are the muscle supports. Etiology, when it comes to etiology, why this normally present rectal in the pelvis becomes prolapsed or normally present rectal or descends, means because lack of support. What are the supports? Means the diaphragm weakening or any injury, nerve injury causing weakness of this muscle, multi-parous or excessive. In females, these prolapse are more common. The explained etiology is vaginal deliveries, multiple vaginal deliveries, which causes weakening of this pelvic diaphragm and injury of this nerve, pudendal nerve, which supplies the muscles of this pelvic diaphragm, and uterosacrals and all these ligaments, pelvic lateral ligaments, all these ligaments becomes weakening during delivery or normal delivery. And again, episiotomy is the perineal muscles. So these are all the reasons explains why this rectal prolapse is more common in females. Okay, and the elderly age, because of age, there will be degeneration of this collagen and tissue. This causes weakening of these muscles, and again more if in males, these are more common in elderly males. Okay, and developmental anomaly, the shape of the sacrum will be slightly concave. If it is flattened, means there won't be support. This rectum actually sits in this concave surface of the sacrum. If it becomes flattened, there won't be support. These are the abnormalities. In children, there will be less ischiorectal fat. Okay, these are the supports. Various supports are nothing but of rectum to be present in this position, because during defecation there will be increased pressure of 90 mm of mercury in the, or 110, more than 110, 100 mm of mercury pressure will be there. There will be defecation. This pressure is sustained or which makes the rectum position of pelvic diaphragm, ischiorectal fossa, sacral curvature, and all these anatomical structures which prevent this descent of this rectum during defecation. If there is any weakening of these ligaments, pelvic diaphragm, and loss of ischiorectal fossa, and shape of the sacrum is lost, these all will lead to this support is lost, and this causes prolapse of this rectum. Okay, it is of two types: partial or mucosal prolapse, complete prolapse. Mucosal prolapse is nothing but mucous membrane and submucous of rectum protrudes out of the anus for approximately 1 to 4 centimeters. These are the differences: mucous membrane and submucosa of rectum. There won't be any muscle. If you examine this prolapsed muscle, prolapse, you can only feel mucosa and submucosa. There won't be any tough structure like muscle. And the prolapsed mucosa is palpated between the finger. There will be double layer of mucous membrane only. In infants, due to underdevelopment of sacral curve, predisposes to infants to this condition. And children, after the attack of diarrhea, recurrent diarrhea, loss of weight, loss of fat in the ischiorectal fossa, all and cystic fibrosis, neurological disorders, and Hirschsprung's disease, rectal prolapse, and maldevelopment of the pelvis. These are the etiological factors causing rectal prolapse in children. Associated with third-degree hemorrhoids, when it is referred to as mucohemorrhoidal prolapse. See, hemorrhoids are different entity, and mucosal prolapse is different entity. In hemorrhoids are nothing but the submucosal plexus. These submucosal plexus present at the dentate line. Okay, in the anal canal. These becomes enlarged due to increased rectal pressure or anything. They are the natural cushions. They're normally present, but due to constipation or anything, any increase in the rectum pressure, this causes enlargement. Okay, enlargement of the submucosal plexus, venous plexus, and these will collapse because of loosening of this connective tissue, the submucosal connective tissue present at the anorectal junction. Okay, this dentate line. This causes collapse of this hemorrhoids. There are 3 hemorrhoids usually: primary hemorrhoids, 3, 7, and 11 o'clock position. They have, they will be confused with the partial prolapse because they are also submucosal plexus. Here, partial prolapse also mucosa and submucosa. How to differentiate means hemorrhoids are present at 3 and 7 o'clock position. There will be radial folds. Okay, in mucosal prolapse or partial prolapse, there will be circumferential. This mucosal prolapse is circumferential prolapse of mucosa and submucosa. Okay, and in females, torn perineum and male urethral obstruction, all this increases the intra-abdominal pressure, which transmit on and causes the prolapse. In infants, treatment is digital repositioning and submucosal injection of banding. This submucosal injection of banding is nothing but we give 5% phenol in almond oil or rubber, and we inject in the submucosal layer. Okay, because fibrosis. This causes fibrosis in the submucosa, and this reposition the mucosa. Prolapse. And rubber banding ligation, nothing but we keep a gun-like structure will be present, and we keep banding similar to varices. In adults, we give if this partial prolapse is there, we give submucosal injection of phenol in almond oil or application of rubber bands and excision of this excess prolapse, circumferential or unilateral. It is called Delerom's procedure. So we keep in the patient in the lithotomy position. Lithotomy position is nothing but supine position with the 90 degrees abducted at the hip, flexion 90 degrees flexion at the knee. Okay, and abducted position. So this is the position, lithotomy position for any anal canal procedures. Okay, for a abdominal perineal resection or anything, we have easy access to this anal canal. That is the position. So we keep the patient in the position and we excise this all prolapsed mucosa and submucosa, and we resuture it at the anal canal. That is Delerom's procedure. Procedentia complete or full thickness. Here, procedentia complete or full thickness means complete. This muzzle layer is also included. Muzzle layer, the circular and longitudinal muscles of the rectum also prolapse. It will be more than 4 centimeters. Usually seen in adults. And most common is in sex is female, and elderly 40 years, 50 years, 40 to 50 years. This is the age. These are very important because you are going for competitive exam. So I am stressing on the important points also. For exam, your PG prep. Okay. These are the various theories. These won't be you don't need. Procedentia is nothing but the full thickness rectal intussusception starting 3 inches above the dentate line and extending beyond the anal bulge. These theories are nothing but explaining why this rectal prolapses occur. What is the reason? Why means most commonly due to deepening of this pelvic diaphragm and increased abdominal pressure. See, intussusception you see in the colon, large ball. So what is the difference between the rectal prolapse and intussusception? See, rectum also coming. It will also have apex. It will also have outer layer, that anal rectal canal. They think some proposes that it is nothing but the rectal intussusception. Okay. Age, sex, and predisposing factors. Age is 40 to 50 years. Female is the most common because normal labor, there is weakening of the pelvic diaphragm and injury to the pudendal. These are the predisposing factors. Excessive weight loss and emaciated we will see. Anatomy and pathophysiology, these are the predisposing factors. Diastasis of levator ranae. Levator ranae is the main pelvic support. That diastasis means weakening. Abnormal deep cul-de-sac, redundant sigmoid colon, and partyless anal sphincter. See, normally there will be some anal tone, anal sphincter is present. It becomes partyless. Loss of rectal sacral attachments. Pudendal nerve damage. Symptoms and signs. How they will present? They will present with a normal function of the rectum is lost. What is the normal function? Means continence. Okay, storage of the fecal matter. It will lost, so there will be fecal incontinence. Normal mucosa excess. This mucosa which is prolapsed will be irritated, so there will be excess mucosa. And prolapse means there will be mass per rectum. These are the various symptoms. They will come to you. And again, itching and soiling, all these are the complication. On examination, what you will see means there will be mass per rectum, position means left knee, and mass will be present, and the mucosa will be congested, edematous, and if it is long duration, sometimes they will present as obstruction also. Okay, because of this, it won't be reduced. Because of this excess mucosal edema, long duration causes mucosal edema. Mucosal edema causes venous congestion. Venous congestion causes, if there is tight sphincter, there will be constriction. Okay, constriction causing obstruction to the venous flow. If it is not relieved, it will lead to arterial flow compromise, and this lead to ischemia and ulcers and bleeding. Okay, these are the complications. Differential diagnosis: prolapsed hemorrhoidal mass. In clinical, you have to only major diagnosis, differential diagnosis, most common hemorrhoidal mass, because in prolapse there will be circumferential force. In hemorrhoids there will be radial force. These are the clinical findings. See, this is the prolapse. These are the circumferential folds. See, radial fold. Here is the radial fold. These are the differential findings. This is the lithotomy position. Here we examine Sims position. See, this is the mucus discharge. Normal continence is lost. Rectum won't be there. There won't be any storage. Fecal soiling will be there, and the patient complains of mass. If it is prolonged, it is not reducible. It is not reducible means then it will lead to ulcers, ischemia, gangrene, and if it is gangrene, we have to go for surgery. Here we reduce the prolapse. Okay, after reducing, you later on go for surgery. These are the anal manometry: decreased anal squeeze and resting pressure, pudendal nerve terminal motor latency. This nothing but pudendal nerve terminal motor latency means pudendal nerve stimulate, and if we stimulate, it will cause contraction of this pelvic diaphragm within 2.2 milliseconds. If there is any latency, if it is more than 2.2 milliseconds, means there is delayed conduction of this pudendal nerve, and it indirectly indicates that pudendal nerve is damaged. Again, treatment, it contains two procedures: perineal procedure approach, whether you are doing surgery for anal canal or whether you are doing from abdomen. Okay, perineal procedures are nothing but teeth anal encirclement. It is nothing but after reducing this prolapse. So, yeah, in this position we will do, after reducing, we take a proline, non-absorbable suture material, and we encircle it at the anal canal, and we tie, admitting only 2 fingers. So there won't be much dissection or anything. It is very simple procedure, but recurrence rate is high, more than 70% recur. We do this procedure for only elderly males or any elderly person who are not fit for anesthesia. Okay, Delarom's procedure, it is also mucosal resection. Excessive mucosa we reduce. It is usually done for less than 4 centimeters mass. We plicate this muscle layer and suture. It is also perineal procedure, but excessive bleeding will be there. Recurrence is of around 10%. Artemis procedure, it is perineal procedure. We resect around the anal canal, 2 centimeters above the anal canal. We circumferentially incise mucosa, submucosa, muscle, and we dissect the rectum and redundant colon, everything we remove. After sigmoid colon, we remove and we anastomose coloanal anastomosis. And abdominal procedures, suture rectopexy and mesh rectopexy. Pexy anywhere is fixing. It's in original position. That is pexy. If we use suture, non-absorbable suture, it is suture rectopexy. If we use mesh to fix this prolapse in the normal, this mesh rectopexy. If it is anterior, if we place the mesh, it is anterior rectopexy mesh. And if we place in the posterior, it is posterior rectopexy. If we combine anterior resection and rectopexy, is man's procedure, you don't need that one. See, this is the Dolorum's procedure. This is the prolapse, and we are excising the mucosa and submucosa. So this is the muscle. Here we plicate. This is anterior mesh. We are placing after mobilizing this rectum and everything. We place a mesh in the anterior between. If it is, this is female. If we place between the uterus and the rectum, that is anterior rectopexy. It's genes we usually won't do because of high excessive mobilization will be it required, and we cut all the sympathetic and parasympathetic nerve supply to this rectum. So if the patient, some patients have constipation. Constipation is also risk factor for prolapse because of increased abdominal pressure and long duration constipation. It causes rectal prolapse. If we do resection, mesh is nothing but foreign body which causes excessive fibrosis, and it causes constriction, and the patient complains of constipation which is more from preoperative to postoperative. Okay, so if we have to carefully select in clinical scenario which procedure you have to do. Okay, this is Frickman's Goldberg's procedure for rectal prolapse. Here the redundant sigmoid is resected completely and anastomosis to the rectum, and we are fixing it to the sacrum. So resection and rectopexy both are done. This is the ideal procedure. Okay, if the patient is complaining of constipation, if there is excess intraoperatively, if you have seen long redundant sigmoid colon, you have to go for anterior resection with rectopexy. Artemis procedure, this is also resection procedure. We do it perineally. So we are incising, this is the dentate line. We are incising 2 centimeters above the dentate line, circumferential incision, and we are pulling the sigmoid colon through the rectum. Okay, and we are doing anastomosis here. Complications, again, constipation and infection and bleeding. All these are the various complications. Any doubt? Your class is over. Any doubts? You can ask. It will come as a short notes. MCQs, rectal prolapse, risk factors are important. Age and which sex is important. MCQs you ask. What is the gold standard? What are the complications? And one complication is recurrence. Least recurrence is seen for resection rectopexy, around 5%. Okay. And only debilitating, we go for teach. And if excessive redundant colon or sigmoid is there, you go for resection rectopexy and resection rectopexy. Another any important MCQs? And partial prolapse, mucosal prolapse, risk factors are seen. Children, and you go for conservative management. If conservative management are failed, then you go for sclerotherapy and banding. Okay. And pudendal now terminal mortal latency. What is the time? Less than 2.2 is normal. More than 2.2 is there is latency. Milliseconds, 2.2 milliseconds. Any doubts? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Doubts em leva.
No, ma'am.
Okay.